This is a question that I received. I lost my job and am losing the will to keep looking for a new one. I feel so discouraged. How can I keep motivating myself to keep going? Well, losing a job is, for most people, a traumatic experience, and we don't want to make light of that. I can't say that I've actually lost a job, been laid off from a job, but I've come awfully close. I have left jobs with just a few weeks left in that organization, where in one case 2 weeks after I left, they announced the closing of the office that I had been working in. And there were other times in my life where layoff notices were being received, and we all wondered if we were next, what was going to happen. The uncertainty can be scary. And in that experience, while I didn't actually lose my job, I came close. I knew it was a reality that I could get that registered letter in the mail tomorrow. I came to grips with the fact that it may happen, and it was out of my control whether I was going to lose my job or not. And so I turned my focus then, my attention on, well, what would happen? What would be the worst that could happen? First of all, if I would have lost my job, I didn't have a choice. And what would I do? Would I starve to death? Would my family starve to death? I knew that wasn't a rational possibility. I'd find something. I eventually got to the place where I realized that this could be an adventure, a life-changing change. It might mean that I went into a new career. It might mean that I would have had to leave the state I was in at that time, leave the city I was in at the time, and go somewhere else. All in all, it could be an adventure. That's the way I chose to look at it. And I was ready for that. I knew that I would be okay. I might not have the income that I had or the benefits. My family might have to uproot and leave. None of those things are pleasant for most people most of the time. Sometimes a change is fun, but none of those things, unannounced and outside of our control. It wasn't a decision that we made. It was foisted on us, are pleasant. I don't want to paint it as a fun thing. But I knew when I came to grips with the possibility that I'd be okay. And so that's what I would suggest. Yes, it is a disheartening thing, but keep looking for jobs, keep making the calls, realize that you may have to be flexible. It may be, for the time being, that you have to take a job in a career setting that you never dreamed of, which may end up being a very good thing. You may have to leave your city or your state to find work, which can be a very good thing, a very fulfilling thing. It's an adventure. And I think if you look at it that way, and so much of this is our thought process, you're not going to starve. So much of it, if you care about having a job, if you care about your responsibilities, you're going to find work. And you're going to get back to where you wanted to go. I've known people who lost their job that they really wanted, and they took something that was far apart from what they had wanted to do. And eventually it took them a few years, in one particular case I'm thinking of, but they finally got their job back. But it took 3 or 4 years for that to happen. But they worked their way back. They worked their way back up. It was determination. It was knowing that things were going to be okay, whether that happened or not. So don't give up. The best thing you can do if you've lost your job is to start looking for a new one. It's always about action. It's always about taking a step and looking for what comes next. So that's what I would encourage you to do. Don't be discouraged. It's disappointing, but it's something that if you keep looking, that you'll find something. And don't look for the perfect job. Look for a job, and then work your way back toward your original goals, and you'll be just fine.